Book 2 Episode 13. Report. After reaching the inn, I visited the room where the Duke's family was staying. Around immediately welcomed me, leading me to the table where the 4 family members were seated. "Welcome back, Ryoma. Welcome back. Good to have you back. I heard today was quite an ordeal. You shouldn't push yourself too hard." It seemed like they had already received word of what happened today. "Thank you, everyone. There's something I would like to tell you all." The words following my thanks made their expressions stiffen. "What is it? Tell us. Did something happen, Ryoma?" Reinhardt urged me to continue with a serious expression while Eliaria looked at me in worry. "I've decided on what I want to do in the future. I've been greatly indebted to you all, but I'd like to leave you for my own independence." The moment I said that, Eliaria shot up from her seat and approached me. The other 3 remained in their chairs. "Why are you saying this out of the blue? At this rate, I'll continue to be spoiled by everyone and become a useless person. In the past 2 weeks, you have all treated me with so much kindness, I've started to take it for granted. I wish to gain my independence to retrain myself. If you want to retrain yourself, why don't you come along with us? We have many people who can act as your instructor. Being with you all makes me behave like a spoiled child. That is why I want to distance myself for a bit." That was when Elise asked, "When you say a bit, you mean it won't be forever, right?" "Yes. I'm not leaving because I dislike you all, or anything like that. That is why I hope you'll be willing to see me again, after I am content with my training." "But of course we would. You know you can act spoiled with us, right? You're still 11 years old, a perfectly normal age to be living with your parents. As long as you wish for it, you're welcome back anytime." "Mother, aren't you going to stop him?" "Elia, it's not as though you'll never see Ryoma again. Just like how you'll go to school, Ryoma wants to study on his own too. Even though I personally don't think it's necessary. I think what you need is to be spoiled more. Now, Elise. We already agreed, remember? I am aware. That's why I'm not opposing it. I was just stating my opinion." "Already agreed? To what? What did you agree on?" It was Reinbach and Sebes who answered that question. "The truth is, we had already predicted you would say such a thing one day when we first arrived in this village. I have forward a long life, after all. Colleagues, subordinates, enemies. Though their positions varied, I've seen many people like you before. We won't stop you. However, you mustn't push yourself too hard. Even if you work hard, if you don't rest properly, you'll put all that hard work to waste. Master Ryoma may feel as if he was acting spoiled, but we don't see it that way. While the ducal family has offered the food and shelter for the journey until now, that is all. Master Ryoma, you were the one to register at the guild of an unfamiliar town and take on the jobs, devoting all your efforts to them, as though it was the natural thing to do. That is why we thought this topic would come up one day. Although it was a lot earlier than expected." Reinhardt continued from Sebes's words. "When I look at you, I'm sometimes reminded of a close friend of mine. Though you have a completely opposite personality. You're serious where he's frivolous. He always tries to push anything bothersome onto his subordinates and others around him, then slack off from his own work. Although we don't want you to go that far either, you need something more like that in yourself. Take frequent breaks and rely on others, just like how Sebes and Father said. Good things will come from that too. That's how my friend is doing well, even now. I really was grateful for all their words of advice. I hadn't realized that they considered everything this far. Before I knew it, tears were spilling from my eyes. Thank you so much. Don't worry about it. Instead, we'd like you to promise us a few things. First, you can distance yourself all you want, but you must return to us. The world is a dangerous place, even more so as an adventurer. I'm sure you know that already, but we want to see you again, alive. You can come and show us your face from time to time. The second is to write to us regularly, and tell us if anything important happens. If we see you being reckless, we'll send a letter of warning back. or I will pay Master Ryoma a visit myself with my space magic. And third, that you won't hesitate to rely on us if you need something. This one is a must. We know that your current knowledge, magic, and combat skills are more than enough. You're skilled enough to be employed, so there's always the option of working for us too. I didn't know what else to say anymore. I felt nothing but pure gratitude. My weak vocabulary range was troublesome at times like this. Ryoma. I turned to look at Eliaria. She looked straight back at me and said, until now, I haven't had many opportunities to do things with someone else. That's why I'm a little sad. But if it's what you've decided, then I respect that. However, the young lady pointed her finger at me and declared, I'm going to set a condition on that. Condition. In addition to the 3 conditions from father, grandfather, and mother. We have to meet again in 3 years, then in 6 years' time. 3 and 6 years. But why then? I believe I've told you before, but I'm going to the academy in the capital this year. I'll graduate in 6 years' time, but I get an extended vacation at the halfway mark 3 years in. That's why I want to meet again then. In that time, I'll work hard at studying, learn lots of magic and grow. I see, so that's what she meant. I understand. Good. If you become so absorbed with something and forget, I won't forgive you, she said, giving me an arrow-eyed glare. It was true that I lost track of time when I got obsessed with something. I'll do my best to remember. You're supposed to say you definitely won't forget. HMPH. Eliaria let out an exasperated no yes. Then, Reinhardt asked me with a laugh, ha ha ha, I'm sure it'll be fine. By the way, Ryoma, have you decided what you'll do? I have my slimes, so I think I'll live in the outskirts of this town. Then I'll live here as an adventurer and train myself while interacting with others. I see. In that case, could I ask you for one thing? What is it? I'd be happy to help. I'd like to ask you to manage the mines that you're currently exterminating monsters at. It was only abandoned for a year, yet more monster nests were formed than expected. Having monster nests so close to town is most unfavorable. That's why I want you to patrol them regularly and subjugate the monster nests. If it's too much for one person, then put up the job through the guild. I considered sealing the exit, but cave mantises can dig holes with their forelegs to create nests, so there's not much point. If that's all you need, then I can do it. Thank you. In return, you can use the mines however you please. You should be fine to fire magic and train there without disturbing others. That would be perfect for me. I'd have a place to build a house a decent distance from town, and the lack of people around would make it perfect for training, letting my slimes move about freely, and making ingots. It was worth more than money could buy, to me. This is an official trade. There are dangerous species of monsters out there. If one made a nest in the mines and multiplied, it'd be a danger to the nearby town. Normally the public office would send an employee to check on the state of things and hire someone to take care of it, but it seems like the office in this town didn't do any managing, so I'm hiring someone skilled that I trust instead. While a separate reward would normally be paid to the manager, we can just let you use the place however you like, since it has no value to us or this town. No hassle, no expense. Well, that certainly sounded possible. I could tell it was a reason given retroactively. After all, the public office employees that had abandoned their work had been punished. They should all be doing their duties properly under the new management right now. Reinhardt seemed to notice me thinking such things, as he said with a strained smile, "Goodness, you really are far too serious. Don't let the small things bother you. How about we do it this way? If you make ingots while you're there, we'll be benefiting too. Just don't push yourself too hard making them. I understand. I'll do my best to fulfill my duty. I'd set a monthly quota and visit Sergei's store every month. If I didn't do that much, it wouldn't be an equal trade. No, you don't need to be that enthusiastic about it. Also, we want you to stay in this inn for the duration that we're in town. But I don't want to hear any buts. I was expecting to travel together with you a little longer. But you've decided to go off and grow up so fast on your own. That's why I've decided on this. It will only be for another 1 or 2 months at most. You can always retrain yourself after. That should be perfect for someone who likes to work too hard like you. If I didn't reject them here, I'd continued. We won't continue to spoil you, Master Ryoma. Seb has read my mind. Ryoma. All your thoughts are showing on your face. Your face is terribly easy to read, after all. Is it really that obvious? Anyway, you will be staying with us in this inn while we're in town. Got it. But, I said, got it. But, you've got it right? Right? Elise clearly wouldn't listen to any answer other than a yes. Fine. But was my will always this weak? Though I was extremely grateful for the offer. I got it. I'll continue being spoiled by everyone's kindness until you leave town. Good. That's a relief. In the end, I couldn't refuse. I didn't want to dismiss their kindness, and in the end, I was happier having people who cared about me. I thanked everyone and returned to my room.